My model girlfriend dated me for money, so I secretly used her connections to get revenge. Now, my ex is trying to get me back. My name is Alexander, 29. A year ago, my life revolved around one truth: Isabella. She was 25, an aspiring model, and so beautiful it almost hurt to look at her. When we started dating, I thought I'd won the universe's lottery. My friends were shocked too. An ordinary guy like me with someone like her. For months, I brushed aside the small unease I felt. 6 months in, she began hinting about marriage. 7 months in, I proposed. She said yes instantly. My family thought it was fast, but if I was happy, they were happy. 3 months ago, I overheard her laughing with her friends in our living room while I lay sick in the bedroom. I got up for food but froze when I heard my name. They were mocking me, my looks, my habits, my insecurities. Then Isabella's voice cut through, bright with cruelty. I snagged a rich, dumb guy with a lousy face. Living the dream. They roared with laughter. Something inside me burned black. I almost stormed in to end it, but stopped. Why give her the satisfaction? Why not return the favor? Quietly, thoroughly? I paid for everything in her life. Her rent, her clothes, her makeup, her taxis. She was entirely dependent on me. That dependence would become my weapon. Enter Sarah, my 23-year-old cousin. She, too, wanted to be a model. Her father, a wealthy businessman, refused to fund her until she proved herself. She had money but no contacts. Isabella despised her, claiming the industry was too competitive to help the enemy. Perfect, I began attending Isabella's castings. Not for her, but for Sarah. I'd charm people, collect names, pass them to Sarah. Sometimes she booked jobs, sometimes not. But she paid me $1,000 each time, eager to prove herself to her father and maybe punish him for doubting her. My savings grew. Isabella never suspected. Over months, my feelings for her withered. I became a careful actor, sweet when present, distant when absent. I told my parents there'd be no wedding, though Isabella kept planning, oblivious. I let her. Why not? Her network was still useful. Then everything collided this week. Sarah signed with a prestigious agency. Her father, surprisingly grateful, sent me an extra $5,000. At the same time, Isabella demanded to know why wedding invitations hadn't gone out. I decided the game was over. When she pressed me, I told her flatly, no wedding, no preparations, nothing. She thought I was joking. I told her about the night. I overheard her, word for word, and how I'd spent months using her contact for Sarah's benefit. I told her how Sarah paid me generously. Her face went white, then red. Tears. Screams. She accused me of betrayal, of using her. Over one stupid joke, she spat. I reminded her that it wasn't just a joke. It was her truth, spoken behind my back. She swore she loved me. She claimed she was only being funny. I didn't believe her. That's when she said something I wasn't prepared for. You think you've ruined me, Alex? You have no idea what you've started. Her voice was suddenly calm, almost cold. She wiped her tears, looking at me with a strange, fixed expression. It wasn't pain anymore. It was calculation. Before I could answer, she walked into the bedroom, slammed the door, and locked it. 10 minutes later, she came out, purse on her shoulder, phone in hand. You'll regret this, she said, almost cheerfully. Then she left. I don't know where she went. I don't know what she's planning. But I do know Isabella, vain, beautiful, and utterly unwilling to lose. She's not the type to disappear quietly. That night, I noticed something unsettling. My laptop had been moved. Files were opened that I hadn't touched. My email showed signs of recent logins from a different IP address. Was she in my accounts? I tried calling Sarah, but she didn't pick up. I texted her, nothing. My stomach tightened. This morning, I got a message from an unknown number. Nice work, cousin. Too bad you won't see the next paycheck. Attached was a screenshot, an email thread between Sarah and me, detailing every dollar she'd paid, every casting I'd stolen from Isabella, sent from my own account to Isabella's father. I don't know how she got it. I don't know what she's told him. But if he believes I manipulated his daughter for money, that $5,000 thank you could turn into a lawsuit. I tried to reach Sarah again, still nothing. Isabella hasn't come home, but her perfume lingers in the apartment, a sweet, heavy scent like flowers that bloom only at night. I keep smelling it, even in rooms she never entered. It feels less like a memory and more like a warning. And now, as I sit here, my phone vibrates again. It's her. You taught me how to play the long game, Alex. Let's see who wins. I stood my ground and told Isabella that what she called a joke had struck deeper than she could imagine. Jokes, I said, are supposed to be harmless, meant to make people laugh together, not rip someone apart. Hers felt malicious, aimed directly at my insecurities. It wasn't only the words. It was the way she sat among her equally shallow friends and laughed at me, joining in the chorus instead of defending me. I wasn't some stranger she could mock and forget about. I was the man who had paid for every little thing she wanted, who had worked longer hours to provide for us, who had carried the weight of our life together on my shoulders. I had put her comfort first, constantly, and still, she mocked my looks as if I was an accessory she had outgrown. That cut deeper than anything else. After that argument, she packed in silence. The click of her suitcase echoed in the apartment, and within the hour she was gone. I didn't stop her, not out of pride, but out of exhaustion. I had no energy left to fight for someone who clearly didn't value me. The next 2 days, I drowned myself in work. It wasn't that I missed her love. I realized I'd stopped feeling that long ago, but I had grown used to her presence. Coming home to an empty apartment was like walking into a hollow shell. Then, on the third morning, I woke to a message from her. Isabella wrote that she still loved me, that she wanted to work things out if I was willing. She claimed she couldn't imagine life without me. I didn't answer. My feelings were a mess. I didn't know if I loved her, missed her, or just missed the idea of us. Later that day, her friend messaged me privately. She said she felt guilty about what had happened and sent me a screenshot of a conversation with Isabella. In it, Isabella called me her loser boyfriend and asked if she could stay with her for a while since I had kicked her out. That was it, the final nail. The woman begging to reconcile was the same one mocking me behind my back. She hadn't changed. She wasn't coming back for love. She was coming back for convenience. I blocked her on everything. I decided there would be no reconciliation. She was toxic, and I was done. My next move was to find a bigger apartment, somewhere I could start fresh. I've been doing well at work, thanks to Sarah and her father's connections, and a raise was on the horizon. Perfect timing to cut the last threads tying me to her. When I told my friends the wedding was off, they were stunned. Some praised me for my cunning. Others said I should have walked away the day I heard her joke. But once they heard about her fake, "I love you," just to live rent-free, most agreed she deserved what she got. Then, a few days later, she appeared at my workplace. The receptionist called, saying she refused to leave until she saw me. To avoid a public scene, I met her at a cafe down the street. She wasted no time, launching into a speech about how I treated her unfairly and how she deserved a second chance. Under the right circumstances, she insisted, she could be an amazing girlfriend. I asked her what those circumstances were. She said I'd spoiled her, let her walk all over me. If I'd been more assertive, she might have been more attracted. I was too spineless, too average-looking, too lacking in self-esteem. Her words. But now that she knew I'd secretly outsmarted her, she suddenly found me attractive. She could, she said, finally take me seriously. I almost laughed in her face. Whether it was a last-ditch trick or her actual belief, it was absurd. I told her I'd think about it, just to end the meeting without a scene. Back home, I realized she wasn't after love. She just needed a place to live. She was too lazy and dependent to leave with dignity. That night, I promised myself I'd never speak to her again. The next day, she called from friend's phone. I answered, ready to end things forever. She asked if I'd thought about her words. I told her there was nothing to think about. Even if someone put a gun to my head, I wouldn't get back with her. Then I let all out, calling her pathetic, a parasite, a professional leech. I told her to find a new target. She fired back, claiming my current success was only because I'd used her connections. She accused me of latching onto her. The irony was laughable, and that's where it ended. No tearful goodbye, no lingering hope, just a clean break. Whatever connections she thought she'd given me, I'd never asked for them. Maybe she convinced herself I'd stolen client contacts from her phone. Maybe that's how she sleeps at night. But the truth was simpler. I'd stopped being her safety net. I learned the hard way that some people don't love you. They love the comfort you provide. And when that comfort is gone, so is their love.